Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today I wanted to take the time to give you every single piece of information that I have been given towards a Phase 9 impossibility. I want to be abundantly clear that this video is about 99% hopium. It is people grasping at straws. I still, unfortunately, as painful as it is for me to admit, believe that this is the end of SOD. We are going to just be aerified. We aren't going to get any major new content stuff. I want to be as clear as I can possibly say that, but you guys seem to love these Phase 9 videos. You seem to love everything Phase 9, and you seem to want this hopium. So I have no problem giving you guys what you want and letting you see this dive into pure hopium with me. So without further ado, I'm going to switch it over and we're going to dive right into this. So I'll see you then. Voop. So we are back at our dreaded page here of the Phase 8 announcement, and you will notice one thing is gone. The opening paragraph that said Season of Discovery culminates with the Scarlet Enclave. So now they have deleted it on X, and they have deleted it here on the official page. The only thing that remains the same is the promotional email they sent out, which they can't really edit and go back on. So they are deleting the culmination factor and that one word that has just, that word, I hate that word now, I'm not going to lie. But it is gone. So with it being gone, that could mean that there is some hope that we, might have something more. And, I would love for something more. Like, I'm saying, I don't think there's going to be anything more. That's just me being realistic. My hopium meter is as high as your guys'. It's like, I'll take SOD TBC. I will take a Phase 9, even if it's a PvP phase. I will take anything that we get to experience new and keep SOD going, because I love SOD that much. But anyway, I'm going to go over here, and I covered this in the other video, but just to sort of re-highlight it, the 15 PvP models were updated. We could get those titles in ranked. This dude's talking about Dragon Isles being mostly built, and we actually got a defender saying you're being rude and speculating a lot. Get off your high horse. Pretty cool defender. I love that, guys. Thank you for defending me. I appreciate it. But this dude, still avidly hopium user, believes that we are going to see a Phase 9 with all this stuff. The rank 15 PvP models being updated or changed in any way is pretty cool, and it could, it just hints that maybe they're thinking about it. Maybe they're doing a little bit of something. We have since then seen sort of some speculative blue post patch notes. I've tried to find the image, but I actually can't find the image anywhere. So if anyone has that image and wants to send it to me, I would be greatly appreciated. But I looked for it for quite a while and I couldn't find it. But it's going around, and I don't really know if it is any legitimacy to it or not, but it could just be a pipe dream. But anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is this post right here. In a recent hotfix, there was a new item added called the Dream Journal with a book icon. It was already in the game titles. It's a white icon with a Hearthstone icon, and this is what it becomes. So dream form, which takes you into the Emerald Dream. So it's this Dream Journal here and stuff. So it's kind of like a Hearthstone that would take you into the Emerald Dream, which is pretty cool. But I don't really know if that implies we're doing a Emerald Dream or not. I don't know what that is. Most definitely a little bit of a reach. But it would be pretty cool with that. You need to stop with the data mine hopium. This is what led to dwarf shamans and undead paladins being a rumor. If they announce Phase 9, we can all go nuts. But until then, seems like we're at the end. That's a very realistic take from Harogthar here. But yeah, who would ever peddle dwarf shamans and paladins off of a rumor? That would just be crazy. Could you imagine doing that? My God. So next we have some pretty interesting stuff that I want to talk about, and huge shout out to El Chef. He reached out to me on Discord yesterday, sent me some of these photos, and I wanted to just sort of dive in. This is actual data mining from the game files. So the actual Caverns of Time Mount Hyjal game files are actually in Classic WoW, as you can see here. Now, we'll talk about it later, but as you can see, it is in the game files. Then we also have, this is what it makes. It is the world map for that is what that is. So Caverns of Time Mount Hyjal. Like, this is the battle for Mount Hyjal, not the Hyjal zone. So keep that in mind. Then we also have world map Naskora, which goes over here to being a part of the Death Knight 1 starting phase, as well as we saw a Death Knight costume change being added into the game files as well, which is pretty interesting. It doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to be getting that or seeing that in any meaningful way. However, it just does let us take a look and show you guys that. So here is that right here. Interface, dress up frame, dressing room, Death Knight. So is this a sign that we are getting Death Knights? Is this a sign that we are getting possible stuff with Hyjal? Well, we got to be realistic. And if we take a look at Phase 8 and what they put into the game, those imply kind of a different story. So Phase 8 strongly implies that they took those assets from the instance of Hyjal and just copied them over to make Hyjal functional, to make Archimonde's skull there, to add a few things around the world tree to go along with the Ashbringer questline that takes you to Hyjal to do all those things. Those are assets that, like, when they're most of Season of Discovery, when they've developed something new, they haven't had actual game developers that can create new things. As we look back on Hammer Dance's video when Agron posted that, like, that is a huge announcement to be able to create new things, and we saw that largely with actually New Avalon. While the area is the Death Knight starting zone, which is probably why we see those Death Knight game files pulled, a lot of the buildings there are actually like new infrastructure, new layouts. Like, the overall ground is the same, but the further you go up is completely new and completely different. It isn't the exact, like, the mine is the same, and a few of the buildings are the same for the Enclave, but there are awesome new areas also added to it. And so when they did that previously for most of SOD, like, Demon Fall Canyon is just a straight copy-paste of the area with new bosses and mechanics added in, which is still pretty cool to see a new instance in that way. And like, Incursions were taking the old Emerald Nightmare assets and adding them into the game as well. But at the end of the day, they still just sort of, like, that's just sort of a layer of paint being glossed over a zone, an area, and adding things that already existed. Now, they have the ability to now add new things. We saw that mainly with New Avalon. New Avalon is not in the classic files at all. We don't see it until Wrath of the Lich King, which means they took a zone from the future and they dropped it into the classic engine, and it worked. That right there gives me, like, that's insane HOPIUM and possibilities to add new things. So when we look at these Death Knight things, we look at Hyjal, we look at where it's coming from, it just kind of feels like that these were assets, pieces, some degree of what they needed to make the New Avalon zone work. So they're pulling from future things. They're pulling to make the Ashbringer questline work and go to Hyjal. That is my guess, because we haven't seen us actually, like, we haven't seen a Hyjal instance. We haven't seen anything new done with Hyjal. They did erect a giant death barrier to stop you from getting to the slime, and you now get ported out of Hyjal, so you can't actually go there and explore it. So if you want even more HOPIUM, they are blocking Hyjal off and making it unable to go out there and do things. So all of that pretty cool and pretty exciting, and I want to hope, guys. I want to hope as much as you. Like, I want to believe we're getting a Phase 9. It just, we're already 6 weeks in to this phase. Normally, as we've seen, they've announced the next phase. They've announced what's coming. We have some tidbit of information and stuff that is already being released with the SOD schedule and how fast-paced it has been. And here we are just dead quiet with nothing else. So it makes it really hard to sort of guess that. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. And until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.